Hello again, and welcome back. I know it's not been very long since my last video on the stacking music system, which was the Technic stacking music system, where I did lots of stuff on that, and that's just been collected, so that's away out of my workshop, giving me a little bit more space. But this video, as promised in that one, is about the surprising, unexpected and delightful items that arrived yesterday afternoon. And the reason why I've got them at the moment, they're not mine to keep, but a friend of mine was turning out, a colleague of mine was turning out his attic, and he'd stored stuff there from his late father, and he brought it all down and thought, know somebody who might be able to help with this, and that someone obviously was me. Anyway, it arrived yesterday afternoon. I had no idea what I was going to get, but I was absolutely over the moon when I saw it. Some very unusual things, and one of them is going to be, it's going to take an awful lot of work, but it's going to be an absolute delight actually working on it. So let me show you some of the items which I've now got in my workshop. I don't intend to make this video about repairing those things or even opening them up, but just to give you a taster, if you like, of some of the things you can look forward to future videos on. That's if you want to look forward to future videos, of course, which you may choose not to. Anyway, let's get on and I'll show you some of these items, and I'll be back with you very shortly. When this gentleman was bringing things in from the car, I couldn't help wonder what was under a rug that he had over what seemed to be a very heavy item, and it very soon became apparent that it was something very special, and I'll unveil it for you, shall I? A bit of drama, but you can probably see it. It was this Philco 1930's radio, model number 444, and made in England, 90 years ago, and he told me that it's probably not been turned on for 20 odd years. So let me give you a close-up of it now, and we'll have a quick look in the back. But isn't that astounding? Bakelite, the Bakelite's not cracked, it's just a lovely looking radio. So let's have a look at it. This radio, made in 1930, and beautiful Bakelite case, and it's model 444, and the manufacturer is Philco Radio and Television Corporation. So we'll have a look at a little bit more of the details about it down below later. But that's the radio. Absolutely stunning example of design in that age. And the gentleman who brought it said he vaguely remembers as a child in the room where his mum and dad were actually listening to this radio, and he dearly wants it brought back so that he too can listen to some of the sounds coming from this radio yet again. But when I show you the back of it, you may see why that might be quite a bit of a job. Well, this is the back of the receiver, and you see the output transformer is actually mounted onto the speaker itself, and then moving down we can see the chassis. I haven't even looked at what bulbs there are there yet, but yeah, it's okay. It's dirty, but it's not that dirty. Quite a heavy mains transformer there, and a CAN capacitor lurking at the back. The mains lead themselves are subject to some horror, but there's the mains lead, and there's an aerial lead attached as well. But as you can see, the mains lead is fairly well perished and needs replacing. So what I aim to do with this one is to obviously clean it first, replace the mains cable, which now can be earthed obviously, and check the other cables but they don't look that perished. They look okay. And for some strange reason, the valve in the foreground looks particularly clean. I've no idea why. So how many valves does it have? 1, 2, 3, 4 valves. And I'll find out more about this and get a circuit diagram a bit later. But what a wonderful beast to work on. And I love to actually hear it again when I've got it working. So that's the back. Let's have a last look at the front. Well, there again is the front view of the receiver. What a wonderful dial it has on it. The knobs are in place. I'm not actually sure what the hole is in the center of those two knobs. There's nothing behind it except chassis, so I need to investigate that. On the one side you have the wave change knob, on the other is the on-off in volume. So that is just a wonderful looking machine. The next item I was equally surprised to see. It's a Grundig TK1 portable tape recorder. And just have a look at this. Take the lid back. Oh, it's even got a spare drive belt with it. And a lovely microphone. Well, it looks nice anyway. And a beautiful looking machine. So what a thing. I've never seen one of these before. Grundig TK1, and it also came as you can see with a number of tapes. So yeah, that is something else. So that's the second item. Very unusual, didn't expect to see that. So again, this gentleman used to use it in his college days, and he says, I've no idea what's on the tape, but it's probably notes and things that I was doing when I was studying. But what a lovely item to look at, and he'd very much like that to be restored. One thing I did note about it, let's put this back, was the batteries. Now I did nip this off a few minutes ago just to have a look before I started recording, and it is battery powered, but the batteries I'm not quite sure about. Right, so there are three, can you see that? There are three 1.5 cells there, and here I don't know. I'd have to have a look at that, because I really don't know what these batteries actually are. They're obviously higher volt. Let me get the light on it a minute to see if I can see anything. No, it doesn't give any indication of what the batteries are, but they're I've got a feeling that the higher voltage, the end, I don't know what they are. I'd have to have a look at that and get back on that one. But what a lovely machine to have a look at, and to do some exploring about and finding out its history, and indeed when I finally power it up, whether the thing still works. So that's a Grundig TK1. The next item, again, I was surprised at. It's a Philips cassette recorder, EL3302, and it looks almost like it's new. There's no dust in it. The case is immaculate, and it's come with its instruction manual, which is brilliant, and its microphone, and the DIN plugs for record and playback on that, so that's good. It also comes with the main supply unit to plug it into the mains, and a brand new tape. Now this is okay. It's EL3302 and probably made in the 60s, I would think, but the condition of it is just absolutely fantastic. I'm not sure if I can actually slide it out of its box. Yes, there it comes. And as you can see, it's in wonderful condition, and just amazing. So I really don't know. It's in such wonderful condition, it hardly looks used. Hopefully they've not left batteries in it. I don't think that would have been the case anyway. No, but look, you know, has it been used? I've got to ask myself that. Has this thing ever been used? But it's just, it looks not. So let's put that back on. Turn it back over, and there it is. So that's the third item. This wonderful Philips cassette recorder. I don't know if the box says anything else on it. Let me just show you the box. Just the cassette recorder, and it shows it being worn over the shoulder, as if someone was interviewing or capturing sounds. But yeah, another very interesting and lovely item, and beautiful microphone, very aesthetic to touch that microphone, and a good looker as well, with a square end on it, and a microphone stand. Everything is there in the box. Absolutely wonderful. So that'll be something else I need to look at for this gentleman, and I'm glad he went into his attic and found all these things. Couple more things to go, and then that's it, I think. The next item is this more up to date. The next item is more up to date. It's this Sony FM medium wave and long wave 3-band radio, ICF 404L, and the gentleman said that it works fine on earphone. You plug that in here on the end, but it doesn't work at all. There's no sound from the radio itself, so it's either the socket that you plug the jack into for the earphone, for the headphones, or the speaker itself is failed in some way. I don't know. Again, very well looked after, not in such a good state as that one, but again it's come with a complete manual with it, which is nice, and the mains adapter. So one thing I'm learning about this guy is that he looks after things. Boxes aren't thrown away, instructions aren't discarded. Everything is looked after, and when it's finished with being used, it's all put away properly until it's retrieved many years later. So I think we could all take a bit of a lesson from that. I'm awful for not keeping boxes and throwing instructions away or filing them away where they'll never ever be found again. So that's that item. So now we've had the radio, the Philco radio. We've had the wonderful TK1 tape recorder. We've had the Philips compact cassette recorder, and then the fourth item I've got here is the Sony radio. So let's move on. I've got one item left to look at. And the last item in the box was this pure, way up to date. This is maybe 18 months old. This pure digital DAB radio, Mini 1. I must admit I'm not a great fan of pure of these things. Very difficult to repair, and I don't know what's wrong with it. It's come this time with a photocopied manual and nothing else. There's no power supply for it. Let me just see if it's got the power supply block in there. No, it hasn't. It just requires batteries. So a pure radio, and there it is. Again, in very good condition, all nice and shiny and bright, but I'm not quite sure of my ability to fix these, because there are a couple of chips in them. Usually if that goes wrong, it's probably cheaper to actually buy another radio. But how about that? Ranging from, and that the irony of that is huge, ranging from the original radio, the Philco radio, which was made in 1930, to this, which was made bang up to date. And I think I might just put them both together and do a photograph of them, and just decide which one you'd rather have. But anyway, I think that brings me to the end of the items that I've received, and it now remains to decide which order to look at them. But I think my decision's already made. It will be the 1930s Philco radio. Well, there we are. There's an age comparison between the 1930s and today. So you can take your choice. Obviously, you can only receive a few radio stations on the Philco now, if it was working, and if you receive stuff on the pure DAB radio, and probably not very good quality DAB as well because of the system we have, but obviously many stations, because you've got a huge choice there. But that's just a good comparison of the gap between the ages. Well, that's about it for this video. I hope the items I've shown you have whetted your appetite for things to come, especially the Philco radio. I will be making a special restoration video about that on its own, maybe combining some of the other items in other videos, but I think I'll start off with the Philco. My workshop has gone from being empty, then it started to have unusual things like the WEM amplifier, which is still here, the music centre, which is gone, and now all this stuff which was brought to me to look at. So I've got plenty to keep me occupied, and I hope I can share it with you, and I hope you look forward to seeing some of these items restored. I have one more mystery item. I went into a charity shop a couple of days ago, and there on the shelf was a boxed unit, and it was a music player, personal music player. But this one was rather unusual because it had a hard drive in it, and actually a 5 gig hard drive. So I looked at the price. It was £8. It came with all the bits and pieces with it, and so I bought it. But that's going to be another story, because I've got to do some research on that as well. And anyway, I won't wander on now too much. But thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you're going to give me some likes if you like it, and give me some responses as to some of the items I've shown you. Thank you to all my subscribers, and thank you to my new subscribers. I've had a number over the last week from all around the world, but thank you very, very much indeed. I do appreciate it, and it does give you some inspiration when people look at your videos and like them. Thank you very much. Enjoy, and as always, take care.